All right, welcome to Blue Star Report. I am Brad. That right there is Dustin. Let's take a walk down memory lane as we watch some highlights from the Cowboys legends of the 90s. The team that won three Super Bowls in 4 years. What is it about these guys that set them apart from the Cowboys of today? I've put lots of thought into this for a while, trying to figure out just what made them so much different. Now, I'm going to age myself here just a little bit by saying this, but I was fortunate enough to get to watch them every Sunday. I never missed a single game. Even now, I tune in whenever the Cowboys are playing, but it's just not the same. There's something missing. I know there are many people that are going to watch this video that was as fortunate as I was and watch those 90s Cowboys and would agree with me that that team was just different. But what made them different? I decided to do a little research and look at some stats for some key players. The Cowboys of the 90s were just better, right? The way I looked at it, probably not even close, maybe. If you notice on the thumbnail, I put a question mark after ordinary. I did that because I'm not sure if they are really just ordinary or just missing something. So I looked up the stats from all the players, but we're only going to talk about three players from the 90s Cowboys team. I pulled these stats from the three Super Bowl years. Then I pulled the stats from the offensive points per game and the defensive points allowed per game. I did this. I did the same thing for the Cowboys of today. I used the 3 years Dak had complete years plus two other players. I think you're going to be shocked at the results, especially you older guys like myself. Now, I didn't pull running back stats due to the fact that that position isn't the same as it was in the 90s. These days, most teams use two or three backs to replace one. But once I finished looking at all these stats, and after digging up and watching the old 90s football games, I came up with two reasons these teams look so much different. And I'll tell you what those are after we look at these stat lines. So for all of you that are here for the first time, we don't like to waste a lot of time here at the Blue Star Report. We just like to make short videos, make our point, and show you stats to back it up and move on. So here we go. So in 92, Aikman had a 63.8% completion percentage. He had 3,445 yards and 23 touchdowns. And in 1993, he had a 69.1% completion percentage, 3,100 yards, and 15 touchdowns. And in 95, he had a 64.8% completion percentage, 3,304 yards, and 16 touchdowns. And like I said, Dustin's going to read you the stats of Dak, and you're going to be a little bit shocked here. I promise you. Now, these are the stats of when Dak played three full seasons.
His 2019, he had 65.1% completion percentage, 4,902 yards, and 30 touchdowns. In 2021, 68.8% completion percentage, 4,449 passing yards, and 37 touchdowns. In 2023, a 69.5 completion percentage, 4,516 yards, and 36 touchdowns.
So he absolutely annihilates old Troy Aikman in touchdowns.
A Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. And he beats him in completion percentage and in yards. And you would not think that. You would not think that. And not of us old guys that grew up watching them Cowboys, we all thought, oh, Aikman was the man, which he was. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what's going to come down to here in a minute when we start talking about the difference and what the difference in these teams are. Now, stat wise, it's not even close.
No.
Dak annihilates Troy Aikman when it comes to stats. So let's go to Michael Irvin. In 1992, these are the same three Super Bowl years. 1992, Irvin had 1,396 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns. In 93, he had 1,330 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns. And in 1995, he had 1,603 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns. And what did Lamb have?
Lamb in 2022 had 1,359 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns. 2023, 1,749 yards, 12 touchdowns. And in 2024, he only had 1,194 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns, but that was in 15 games. And Dak didn't play in 9 of them.
So
That was without Dak. That
Lamb is comparable to Irving comes to stat wise. Maybe a little better.
Maybe he got more touchdowns.
He's got more touchdowns, and he's got him pretty close in yards. If you add total yards up, I didn't do that. I probably should have done that, but I didn't. So we're going to go to the other side of the field where Harper was at. Alvin Harper, for you guys my age, that's his age, we all know who he was. So in 1992, he had 562 yards and 4 touchdowns. And in 1993, he had 777 yards and 5 touchdowns. And in 1995, he had 633 yards and 2 touchdowns. So we're going to compare him to Pickens.
2022 had 801 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. 2023, he had 1,140 yards and 5 touchdowns. And 2024, in 14 games, he had 900 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns.
So not even close compared to Harper. Pickens outplays Harper.
And Pickens is quarterback. He's facing a number one corner.
Yeah, that was back when he was placing number one corners and all that. Oh, so if you take those three guys' stats, other than Lamb, I would say Lamb and Irving are close. Dak and Pickens outplay Aikman and Harper, stat wise. So what's the difference? Why were they so much better? If you look at it, you take those 3 guys from the Cowboys and 3 Cowboys from the present year and the 3 guys from the 90s. Dak, Lamb, and Pickens outplay Aikman, Irvin, and Harper.
Yeah.
They absolutely outplay. So there's something. What's the difference? What is it that the Aikman, Irvin, and Harper had? What was it they had that the Dak, Lamb, Pickens don't? And not necessarily Dak, Lamb, Pickens. It's something that we're going to talk about in a second that runs through the whole team. So right now, first off, we're going to go back and we're going to talk about, to put this to rest. We're like, whoa, points per game and points allowed and defense and all that stuff. So the Cowboys of the 90s, 1992, points per game, they had 25.5 points per game. That's what they averaged. And on defense that same year, they gave up 15.1 points a game. So in 1993, they had 23.5 points a game. That's low to win a Super Bowl. Their average was 23.5 points a game. And they gave up that year 14.3 points a game. That's what helped them. And in 1995, they averaged 27.1 points a game, and they gave up 18.8 points a game.
Pretty good. Cowboys of today, 2019, points per game in 27.1, and points allowed 20.
Yep.
And 2021 points per game, it had 31.1. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and points allowed was 21 though.
Yeah.
In 2023, they had 29.9 points per game and 18.5 points allowed.
So by looking at that, the Dallas team of the 90s had a better defense.
Yeah.
I looked at stats on this too, and I mean, I can go through stats all day long with you guys on this stuff, but like the most sacks that they had in the 95 was 6. One person had 6. Okay, so they had a good defense, but if you look at percentage wise, so in 92 the Cowboys had 25 points a game and they gave up 15, so they had a 10-point swing there.
Differential.
Yeah. Well, whereas the Cowboys of the '90s, they had a 7-point swing in 2019. They had a 10-point swing in 2021 and 11-point swing in 2023.
Yeah.
So their defense wasn't as good as the team of the '90s, but their offense was by far much better.
Yeah.
And I know you was about to go into a few minutes ago about Emmitt Smith, and it's hard to talk about running backs and get into it deep about these running backs like Emmitt Smith compared to what we have in our running game. And the reason for that is because we have 2 to 3 backs that take the place of one.
Yeah.
So you have to add all those backs up, and do they get about the same? They're not going to get close in touchdowns because Emmett scored a lot of touchdowns. But
Yeah, he scored
but as far as yards,
20
if you
something.
add them all up, then yeah, yardage wise, if you add the rotation of our backs and what Emmitt Smith would get and what our 3 back rotation would get, they're pretty comparable, about the same. Okay, so what is it that set those Cowboys apart in the '90s? And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. It's a mentality. It was the killer instinct.
Yeah.
The Cowboys of today do not have it. I don't want to say they don't have heart because they got to have heart, but they don't have heart like those '90s guys did.
That discipline.
When those guys stepped on that
Want
field
to.
in the '90s, they stepped on your neck.
Yeah.
When they were ahead, they stepped on your neck. When they were behind, they were still stepping on your neck. They never gave up. They played every single down. There wasn't no whining and crying and sitting on a bench and flipping out and tripping because I ain't getting this and I'm not getting that. When they played football in the '90s, that is the difference.
Yeah.
Stat wise, we have the talent.
Yeah, we
to
do.
be that team of the '90s. We have the talent. I just read you the stats from it, and I can go through many more stats just like that from other Woodville. But I'm not trying to make this video, an hour long or even 30 minutes long. I'm just trying to hit the high spots here. The Cowboys today have the talent to win. They don't have the killer instinct. They don't.
No.
I know you guys, there's a lot of you guys that watch our videos that are our age, 50, 40s, and 50s. Most of our viewers are 40s and 50s. They know what we're talking about. And the ones that aren't and didn't get to witness the Cowboys of the '90s, you're just going to have to take our word for it.
Yeah.
Or go back and watch some games. Because when those boys stepped on that football field, son, it was on, Jack. They were ready to play football. And they did. And you saw a few of the little highlights, and that's just a real small clip of what they bring. But this whole video was brought about I was just thinking, just why is it that the Cowboys just can't get over that hump? Is it talent? So when I got to digging up stats, I'm like, it's not talent. That's not it. They got the talent.
Yeah.
They've got the people.
They do.
They have the people to win a championship. Now, I have a feeling this year
It might be a little different.
Schottenheimer I think he might have a little change.
Yeah.
I think he does a little more and he fires them up, and he reminds me more of Jimmy Johnson than, the coaches of the past. I've seen him out there in the training camp videos running around, jumping and yelling, and actually all the coaches, not just him.
Yeah.
And that's what they need. They need that fire. They need to get a killer instinct. They need to hood it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to get some hood in them and get out there, because them boys of the '90s, when they came out there, buddy, you better get your cleats tied on because they're going to play some football. And that's what they did, and they won.
Yeah.
They should have won 4 Super
I was
Bowls
just
in a
going to
row.
say that same thing. They should have won 4 in a row.
They should have won 4 in a row, but they didn't. So there's nothing we can do about that. But when it comes to today's Cowboys, and we're going to end with this. When it comes to today's Cowboys, we have the talent.
Yeah.
We lack killer instinct. And I know there's many people out there. Get in that comment section if you think there's anything else different.
I think Shotty's going to bring it back.
I think Shotty can bring it back and get these guys rolling. I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
I was absolutely shocked when I actually really shocked when I looked at Dak's stats versus Aikman.
Yeah, that's
When I
really.
saw that, I was like, "What?" I mean, I couldn't believe that it was that much different.
But he knows he didn't have to put the ball in the air as much as that.
No, no, probably not.
Turn around and hand it to him.
He handed to Emmett, but we can do the same thing with our running back.
Yeah.
I mean, we got running backs that get over 1,000 yards, and if you add up the couple of running backs together, you're at the same amount of yards that Emmett's pulling with
Yeah.
pulling. I got the thing right here. Emmett had in '95 he had 1,773 yards. Well, between the backs that we used last year, we had over 1,700 something yards rushing too.
Somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we didn't have the 25 touchdowns
That's crazy.
that was and all of you guys can attest for this. Emmett did run quite a few touchdowns from outside, 10, 15 yards out or whatever, but he wasn't the fastest back, and he got a lot of his touchdowns from the 1 yard line,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 yard line in there. And anyway, that's what we wanted to bring today. We just wanted to see what you guys think about it. Do you think it? You think it's just heart? Do you think we got the? Do you think that the Cowboys of today have the capability? They have the people to have the skills to win a Super Bowl. And if they do, there's only one thing that's holding them back, and
Yeah.
that's the want to. That's the real. Now they all want to.
Yeah.
They all want to win a Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, but do you want to do what it takes to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference in, oh, I would like to win a Super Bowl, or I want to win a Super Bowl, and then doing what it takes to make that happen. And the Cowboys of the '90s did that.
Yeah.
They did what it took to win a Super Bowl. They just didn't. They didn't just talk about winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we got today. Like I said, we like to keep a video short, straight to the point, and give you some stats to back it up. And I think we did.
Yeah.
You guys get in that comment section, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Uh, get in there and tell us what you guys think. What's the difference in the
Yeah. I like to
Cowboys?
hear what they.
I like
got
to hear
say.
what you guys got because I know, like I said, I look at the metrics on our YouTube studio, and most of our viewers are our age. You guys watch the Cowboys of the '90s. Let us know what you think. Y'all saw them. Y'all saw what they did.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is? What do you think it is? We showed you the stats. They can run. They can run with them with stats.
Yeah.
Stat wise, they're right there with them, if not ahead in some places. What are they lacking? Anyway, that's all we got today. If you guys, like I said, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and we will see you guys again next week.